ng topic. Yung third topic ko is also related pero mag-debate ako a little. Ano. Okay, sa DOF naman muna. Compared to the total revenues collected by the BIR in 2024, what is the percentage share of the VAT?
Okay.
And pakisabi na rin yung in pesos and centavos. Saan magta-translate yung percentage na yun? Share.
16 na order. Kulang-kulang siguro mga 24% ang VAT na nakokolekta
Of the total.
of the BIR.
Yeah.
But let me give you a perspective. Ang total collection ng VAT mula BIR at Bureau of Customs, halimbawa, sa taong ito will roughly be 1.5 trillion. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung ang ekonomiya natin 28 trillion, more or less, ang VAT effective rate is 5%. Hindi 12.
But
Bakit?
Mr. Secretary, BOC is just a collecting agency, di ba?
Correct.
Yung VAT will also be counted sa BIR.
No, sa BOC pa rin makakount yan.
Pero collection agent lang sila eh.
Correct.
But that's within the BIR jurisdiction, di ba?
Yes, the BOC is deputized by the BIR to collect national internal revenue taxes. And what I'm saying is that it's counted in the BOC. Sila ang nagkolekta. Having said that, ang total collection, BIR and BOC, ng VAT is roughly 1.5 trillion sa taong ito. Katumbas yan ng more or less 5%, hindi 12 dahil maraming exemption. But having said that, hindi pa sapat yun, pambayad ng sweldo ng ating mga empleyado. I just wanted to put that on record.
Correct, Mr. Chairman. So, what is our nominal GDP, say 2024?
About 26.4 trillion.
26.4 trillion. Okay, my next question is
24.
how many VAT lines of exemptions under Section 109 ng NIRC, no? As amended, of course, by train and maybe create law, no?
Yeah.
Ilan ang lines of exemption?
Yes, my recollection is one, agriculture is...
No, never mind the breakdown, just the total number of VAT exemption.
Okay, I don't have the exact number with me, but I can tell you agriculture is exempted. Exporters are exempted. Palengke exempted. Turo-turo exempted. Senior citizen exempted. PWD exempted. Cooperative exempted.
Ecozone.
At a certain level. Ecozone exporter exempted or in a customs...
Power sector.
Bonded renewable energy exempted. So pag sinuma total mo yan, that's roughly 6% of GDP are exempted.
So ilan lahat yon? Both yung VAT exemption plus yung covered ng special laws. Yung total. 100.
I'm sorry?
VAT exemptions, yung lines, to include those exemptions covered by special laws that we passed. Yung total, ballpark, 120, 130, 140 lines.
More about, but basically, nabanggit ko na.
Yeah.
Yung mga yun.
Kasi yung next question ko is related to that. Ano?
Yes.
I want to find out how many lines of VAT exemptions there are. Ilan na nakuha?
30 under special laws.
And 59 under... So total niyan is mga 139 eh.
Yeah, more or less. Sige.
Okay. So, ang observation natin is, kasi dito, this may help reduce the budget deficit eh. Assuming for the sake of discussion, let's imagine for a while na zero VAT exemption. With 26.4 trillion nominal GDP, goods and services. You can just imagine, hindi magkakatotoo to, pero you can just imagine, VAT alone, meron na tayong at 10%, not even 12%. Meron na tayong 2.6 trillion na collection. VAT pa lang yan.
Theoretically, that is correct.
Yes.
And like I said, today you're collecting 1.5. But having said that, it is impossible to collect VAT from, let's say, the magsasaka. It is almost impossible to collect VAT from a sari-sari store. That's why we exempted them. It is almost impossible to collect VAT from a turo-turo. That's why we exempted them. Global practice, pag exporter ka, zero rated ka sa VAT. So hindi binabat ang exporter.
Yeah,
So
understand.
I think when we made the law, we made it clear what is easier to collect, what is not easy to collect, what is practical, what is pragmatic, what should be collected. And then over the years, syempre, binabawasan lagi ng Kongreso yan. Oh, sige, let's accept senior citizen, let's accept PWD, let's accept so on and so forth. Yes.
Yeah. The point that I'm trying to drive at is at least we should reduce the number of lines of exemption. Hindi naman isi-zero. Kasi for every sector, ang daming lines.
Yes.
Babawasan lang natin yung for every sector, say cooperative, power sector, real estate, yung mga medyo can afford na magbawas ng VAT exemption para lang makataas tayo. Kasi alam nyo, yung Pilipinas stands out among our ASEAN neighbors pagdating sa VAT exemption. I'll tell you, yung Indonesia, for example, at 11%, they only have 37 lines of exemption. Vietnam, at 5%, meron silang 25 lang. Thailand, at 7% VAT, mababa, meron silang 37. Eh kung tayo mag-100, talagang ang laki ng sabihin nating leakage. Hindi naman leakage,
yes.
for gun
I
revenues.
agree with you totally. Unang-una dahil, katulad ng nabanggit ko, ang deficit natin next year roughly 1,650,000,000,000. Having said that, ang kinokolekta natin revenue kasama ang VAT ay sapat lang pambayad ng sweldo ng empleyado, pambayad ng maintenance operating expenses, pambayad ng interest expense on the debt, pambayad ng IRA or National Tax Allocation na mahigit 1.2 trillion yan sa mga LGU kasama ang BARM at lahat ng flood control, lahat ng tulay, lahat ng airport, seaport, kalsada, bridge ay inuutang natin yan. Kaya dapat gastusin natin ang tama. Lahat ng inuutang natin. Lahat ng capital outlay natin, inuutang natin yan.
Yeah, kaya nga Mr. Secretary, baka pwede pag-aralan natin na instead of passing new tax laws, which is very unpopular, I know that you suffered a lot, when
pagka
when you
binilang
passed
ko po,
the 12% VAT,
pag binilang ko po ang mga bill dito sa Senado at sa Kongreso, karamihan, natural lang at naintindihan ko, bawasan ang VAT. Dapat meron light at the end of the tunnel, katulad nung nabanggit ko nung tinulak din natin yan nung unang panahon. Ibig sabihin, pagdating ng halimbawa, dumating ang debt to GDP ratio natin 40%, ang deficit 3%, pwede natin bawasan.
Anyway, yun lang yung point ko. Baka pwedeng sa halip na new tax laws, magbawas tayo ng exemption. Hindi natin babawasan yung VAT, but yung lines of exemption, kasi they've been enjoying tax holiday in this regard. Baka pwede pag-aralan natin na magbawas tayo ng VAT exemption.
I am one with
you.
And
I'm glad that you vote in favor of my amendment. Kaya lang talo tayo.
Yes, sir.
Doon sa train.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kasi marami tayong kasama rin na tatalo sa atin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you for giving importance to our deficit and wanting to reduce our deficit as well.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Balik DBM, pero hindi ito pang-stress.
Naman po, we're here to
Doon sa 2026 President's Budget Message, merong na-mention na Program Convergence Budgeting, PCB, aimed at eliminating duplication in programs. Could you please tell us more about this initiative? Kasi maganda po ito. We just want to be educated, including the public, kung ano yung mga initiatives ng DBM to make it more transparent and, accessible to the public.
Ito pong program convergence budgeting po, it actually started in 2013 po. Pero what happens is that before, parang tinatag lang po ng agency. Parang there are sectors, for example, tourism. What happens is that they just tag yung mga agencies, yung mga programs and projects nila na pinopropose if may implication siya to that sector. So what we did naman po, kami naman po ni RC, and of course with the guidance of our president po, si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, sabi niya baka you have to dig deeper in yung sa process ng convergence budgeting kasi with just tagging lang, hindi po natin makikita yung mga duplications ng mga programa ng gobyerno. So nagsimula po to ng 2023 yung revised program convergence budgeting for the livelihood projects because we saw during the budget preparation na parang more than 10 departments ang nagbibigay ng livelihood projects po sa ating mga kababayan. And we are not sure kung baka yung isang beneficiary nakaka-receive siya ng 10 pare-pareho. So hindi po, I think walang value added yung binibigay natin. So yun po yung naging sagot po namin. That's why we release a DBM-NEDA Joint Memorandum Circular po which strengthens the convergence budgeting. It is chaired by DepDev and co-chaired by DVM. It serves as an oversight body that will ensure the harmonized, coordinated, complementary, and synergized implementation of projects across all departments po. So, ang pinaka-unang inupuan po namin is yung sa flood and water resource po. We met 3 weeks ago together with DPWH, MMDA, DENR, NIA, sino pa? DOE, kasi we want to have at least for the 2027 expenditure program a more, well, honest to goodness and big impact flood control and water resource project. Because dun sa projects and programs, kasi dun po sa meeting namin, parang lumabas po na itong mga projects na maliliit po, walang masyadong effect po to control our flood situation po.
Okay. Is there any current technology available para yung transparent yet secure na sa inyong system that would enable us here in the Congress, both houses, to track the movement of the budget from what is provided under the NEP and going forward, matrack natin kung sino yung mga nag-propose ng mga amendments paglabas ng GAA. Meron ba kayong technology available?
We can show po kaya po namin yan, makikita yung changes from NEP to GAA. But sir, the proponents po, hindi po namin makikita unless we are provided with the minutes of the congressional
Sa
hearing
Senate,
po.
meron kaming system.
Pwede po.
I don't know about the House.
If you can share it with the DBM, maybe we can do a memorandum of agreement na yung system natin pwedeng mag-usap po para makita, mas mabilis po.
Kasi I heard you have this Project TINA, no? And
Yes po. Sa budget
yung
preparation po siya.
Technical Innovation for National Expenditure Program application. And how nice of you to honor Secretary Tina Kanda with this acronym,
Yes
Project
po.
TINA. Medyo how nice of the DBM people to honor her in this manner at least. Pero yung kino-cover niya, NEP lang eh.
NEP lang po. Yes, sir.
So pwede bang i-expand natin hanggang
Yes po.
all the way?
We will do it po. We started po yung the budget treasury management system. Ito po mas even further. Pati po yung procurement po. Kasama na siya doon sa sistema.
Papunta kayo doon.
Opo. And a real-time update of all the releases po ng mga ahensya. Kasi what happens now, Mr. Chair, the Senator, is that inihintay po namin yung reports ng mga ahensya quarterly. Minsan, may mga late po mag-submit.
Super late.
Mr. Chair,
Yes
with the
po, may
indulgence
mga
of
link.
Senator Ping. Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Posible bang hindi lang hanggang procurement pero yung buong budget execution?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's the idea of the IFMIS and Budget Treasury Management System po. Hanggang lumabas po yung pera, disbursement, at yung completion ng projects po.
Very good to hear po. Salamat, Mr. Chair, Senator Ping.
Yes, yung GPPB, di ba meron na silang procurement dashboard?
Meron po.
Ano yung latest year na kino-cover nila? Kasi masyadong late yan eh. At sana kung infrastructure, baka pwedeng may geotag para for the public to see and monitor anong progress ng mga tangible, yung mga infrastructure projects sa kanilang mga lugar.
Yes.
Because this is open to the public, although yung pag-update, of course, should only be accessible to the agencies concerned. Kasi hindi mo pwede mag-access yung public pati yung sa update, pag-update, di ba? But at least the public should know in the respective areas, just like the Sumbong sa Pangulo website or the DPWH website. Sorry.
Sir, I'll ask PSDBM for
Yeah,
the listahan. But for the infrastructure projects, kung pwede lang po kaming
Parang hindi,
mag-share po kasi meron po kaming bagong nilaunch na project, yung Project Dime po.
yeah.
The use
Project
of
Dime, yeah.
satellite and drones po for infrastructure projects. Yun po, you will see lahat po ng projects under the General Appropriations Act
Makikita.
na infra. Sa DPWH po muna tayo mag-start. And then I think DOTR will also
Yeah.
put their data there. And then po, yung mga agencies will update us kung ano yung completion and progress. And then ang bago pong feature is that the people po, the public, the citizen can log in to that website and then pwede din po silang mag-update ng photos kung, for example, mali po yung in-update photo na nilagay ng DPWH, pwede po silang maglagay ng ano nila doon, ng kanilang mga inputs doon sa project na
Before
yun.
we recognize yung PSDBM, incidentally, hindi masyadong pleasant sa tenga namin yung PSDBM. You know what I mean, no?
Yes po, wala na po sila lahat.
Wala na. Okay.
Wala na, natanggal na po lahat yan.
Yeah. Incidentally, kindly remind DPWH, pagka budget season, pag budget deliberation, lalo na pag malapit na yung budget ng deliberation, login down yung website. Ayaw po magpa-access para sinasadya. And it's a pattern. In my previous years in the Senate, basta malapit na yung nakasalang yung deliberation ng budget ng DPWH, nagrereklamo yung mga staff ko, sir, down na naman yung website. Sinasadya. Paki-remind lang.
Yes
Anyway,
po, will
Secretary Vince is there, ano?
message ko na po din si Vince. Ito po, katext ko po siya eh.
Hindi, kilala ko naman siya na he will really reform the department, ano? And we trust his capability, yung kanyang competence, pati yung kanyang integrity along the line. So sige, PSDBM, kindly brief us.
Yes, ako po si Jen Maris Entredicho Kaong. I am the current Executive Director of Procurement Service DBM, which also handles and manages the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, yung system po. So right now, sir, yun pong MPhilJEPS, Modernized PhilJEPS 2.0, meron na po kasing e-bidding facility yun, sir. The intention is for all agencies to use that. It has an option for manual submission of bids and for online submission of bids.
Kasi daw nagkakaloko-loko sa manual. Merong human intervention. And this goes through pati sa Bureau of Customs. You know, I think in 2020, I asked the Bureau of Customs because meron tayong CMTA, okay, computerized, pero hindi automated. And I asked them, this was during the time of Commissioner Guerrero, no? How much would you need to fully automate? Kasi nakikita natin, alam ni Secretary Recto ito, yun lang export record ng China to the Philippines, ang laki ng discrepancy do sa import records ng Philippines from China. Halos doble. So doon pa lang, sabat pa lang, talo na tayo because of that. Ano? Why? Because of technical smuggling. Because we're not automated. While China is automated, fully automated, tayo hindi. So baka pwedeng alisin niyo yung manual yung sa PhilJEPS na sinasabi ninyo, diretso lang puro electronic because I'm a strong advocate of digitalization. No, pagdating sa procurement, even in the budgeting process, para mawala talaga. Kasi in this day, modern day and age of information and communication technology, wag na tayo mag-manual.
Yes, Mr. Chair and Senator.
Pwede bang eliminate yung manual part?
Actually,
Kasi
sir, under RA 12009, yung new Government Procurement Act, mandatory po tayo na gamitin yung features ng modernized PhilJeps. But the agencies has 3-year transition to do that. But what we're doing po in PhilJeps is for the agencies not to use na po yung luma, the 1.5, which is what they've been using to post the notices. Kasi yung nandun po sa 1.5, yung electronic bulletin board, yun po yung ginagamit nila. Hindi pa po sila gumagamit, hindi pa po sila nagta-transition dun sa features po ng MPhilJeps. So what we're doing right now is we're already announcing na i-shutdown na po namin yung 1.5 for them to be able to migrate already to 2.0 and for everybody to use already the e-bidding facility which can be used from pre-procurement planning stage up to contract implementation. Ito pong e-bidding, ito po yung i-connect doon po sa BTMS na dinidevelop po ng DBM na part po siya nung buong IFMIS namin. Kaya po kasama yung from budget execution up to payment and disbursement and contract implementation.
hindi ba pwedeng shorten natin yung 3-year transition sa
Yes, sir.
one
Yes,
year
sir.
or 1.5? Kasi by the time, wala na si Secretary Mina doon. Baka kasama
Pwede po.
namin sa Senate yan.
Ay, nako. Hindi po. Sir, ano po, yun yung maximum number of years, but we will shorten it, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Ano po, i-shorten po namin. Kaya nga po yung 3 years po kasi started this year. Supposed to be 3 years pa po. Pero this year pa lang po, nag-a-announce na po kami na we will be shutting down the 1.5 para po gradual po, lumilipat na po sila dun po sa 2.0.
Sige. Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
ma'am. O, balik tayo sa stress, ha? Yung Kika ba yun? Sika or Kaika? CICA?
Sika po.
Congress introduced changes and adjustments, ano? I'm just worried, ano? Kasi eto, ang laki ng ating hindi magagamit sa na budget under the 2025. Yung new budgetary items, ito yung new programs, ito yung na hindi na evaluate ng DBM. 662.4 billion. Tapos yung increases sa mga PAPs, 121 billion. So, ang total na SICA, 783.4. Plus yung direct veto na ginawa ng Presidente sa DPWH budget, 26.1. Ang total ng pati yung, kung isasama mo pa yung 4 issuance of SARO, yung PISARO, 757.3. So, ang total niya, 783. So, malamang sa hindi, unused appropriations ito. Hindi po ba? Magiging unused.
Apo. Yes po, kung hindi
Sayang.
na po to i-request ng mga agencies. And then a big portion na rin din po naman of this amount are infrastructure projects
I know.
po na may 2 years validity po. So, but depende po sa ahensya if they will still request yung mga bagong programa na nasama po sa General Appropriations Act, Mr. Chair. But yes po, I agree po. Pag hindi po nila ni-request,
Sayang.
mawawala na din po
Rin
na.
yung program ng national government.
Yes
Dami
po.
tatamaan.
Opo.
But-
Pero masaya po si Sec Recto doon dahil bababa po ang deficit namin.
Yun sa total yun, no? Pero yung sa flood control lang, ang total niya nasa mga 165 billion. No? Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Ano? Kasi kung mga flood control na nasa nasa Bulacan First Engineering District, mas maganda na nga, wag niyo i-release to.
Po, more or less po, because ang total po ng lahat ng flood control projects under the Department of Public Works is 346 billion pesos under the General Appropriations Act 2025, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Yung unprogrammed appropriations, ano bang policy natin dito? Na-explain na ni Secretary Recto, no? Iko-compensate pag nag-release sa unprogrammed, babawasin naman sa regular budget. Pero sa akin, di ba parang unfair yun kasi yung regular item sa budget, ito yung na-vet eh.
Yeah.
Kasi there are parameters,
Yeah.
there are requirements.
Yes,
Ano?
correct.
Yung merong excess revenue collection,
Mhm.
merong accompanying revenue measure,
Mhm.
tapos doon sa
Mhm.
yung approved loans ano,
Mhm.
sa foreign assisted.
Mhm.
Ang ginawa ng Congress, yung last 2024, Kaya nagka-loko-loko, pati
25.
PhilHealth, saka yung tawag dito, DepEd, napakialaman because nagdagdag sila ng dalawang special provisions. One, sinama yung GOCC. Covered naman yung PhilHealth, categorized as GOCC. So nabawasan tayo ng 74 billion, na zero yung PhilHealth because of that provision. And I understand where you're coming from when you said we're just complying with the law because GAA is a law. And the fifth one, kasi aside from the three, nagdagdag pa ng foreign assisted projects. Mabuti na lang, hindi nagalaw yung foreign assisted. You can just imagine if pati yung foreign assisted projects, pinakailaman, niralign, tinanggal. Madidemanda tayo, arbitration na abutin natin dyan. Di po ba? So, yon, mabuti under the 2025 GAA, natanggal uli yung dalawang provisions. Nag-stick do sa tatlong requirements. But ano yung ating policy? Kasi in my privilege speech some 10 days ago or less than 2 weeks ago, no? Meron yung nangyari sa Oriental Mindoro. Ito yung hinugot sa sa program fund, yung dalawang projects. One in Barangay Burbuli, yung isa sa Barangay San Jose. Paano ma-access ng isang district representative? Kasi inaako niya ito Sa mga billboards niya sinabi, mga project ko ito. Ito yung aking mga accomplishment. Pero nang chinek namin, dalawang items yung kinuha sa program fund. And from, what I understand, pagdating sa special purpose fund, na nandun yung unprogrammed appropriations, hindi basta-basta ma-access to ng isang congressman, presidente lang ang pwede mag-augment. Kasi kung merong for some reason, kulang yung budget sa isang item under the regular budget, the president is authorized to, pull out from the unprogrammed fund at i-augment yung budget. Pero but not, so what happened here? Yung flood control project sa Barangay Burbuli and Barangay San Jose in Auhan na nakakuha masyadong malakas yata, masyadong influential yung kumuha nito. Tapos substandard pa. So what is really the policy of the national government when it comes to unprogrammed appropriations?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, if I may, my understanding is that you only need the unprogram, for example, if within the cutoff of the DBM in submitting the NEP, kasi medyo hanggang June yan, may pagdinig ang DBM, and then pagpasok ng SONA, sasabit na yung NEP. Posible may mga foreign assisted projects na naaprubahan na ng executive o ng ICC halimbawa na hindi na incorporate sa NEP. Kung kaya pinapasok yan sa unprogram. Okay? Ang mali, yung halimbawa in 2024 or in 2025, meron na nabilang na yung revenue niya na sa program. Yung foreign assisted, nabilang na yan. Linipat sa unprogram na priority ng Pangulo halimbawa.
We were together in the previous congresses, di ba?
Yes.
Never tayo naka-encounter na nira-align from regular budget to unprogrammed. Never tayo naka-experience. But this time around, under the, I think, 19th Congress, ginagel nila
Correct.
From unprogrammed, nilipat sa regular. From regular, nilipat sa unprogrammed.
Correct.
Ano po ba yung motibo doon? To confuse?
Correct. Hindi naman po. Palagay ko, it's a fight for fiscal space. Having said that, pag linipat mo sa unprogram, dumodoble yung deficit mo. Kasi binilang na natin yung revenue And that's why my statement earlier is that generally speaking, pagka nag-release ka sa unprogram, magbawas ka sa program. Kasi yun lang ang cash na rin makukolekta natin Halimbawa, sa taong ito, ang alam na, in 2026, tinitiyak ko hindi lalampas sa 5 trilyon ang makukolekta natin, hanggang doon lang. Pero ang gagastusin natin, more or less, 6.6. Uutangin natin yan. Di ba?
Chair,
Oo. Yes, sir.
with the
Kaya hindi mo pwedeng dagdagan yung kundi lalaki yung uutangin natin ulit.
Secretary, hindi
Yes.
pa nasasagot yung tanong ni Senator Lacson. Paano na-access nung congressman?
Hindi kami nagre-release ng program.
Paano kaya niya na-access? Kasi imposible
I'm
talaga.
not aware
Only the
of any-
President's office
Yes.
can do
Okay.
that.
So meron ang program sa budget. Ang karamihan dyan supposed to be yung mga natanggal ng Kongreso na mga priority ng Pangulo ang napunta sa program. Okay, yun ang pagkaalam ko. Okay? Kasama na dyan yung foreign assisted projects. Kasama na rin dyan, halimbawa, yung government counterpart. Yes.
Yung kunyari po for this year, no, as an example po, yung sa deficit level lang po, kaya talagang maapektuhan siya. Kasi nakalagay po sa special provision ng availment of unprogrammed fund is that first, you can only access if we have excess revenue collection as certified by the BTR. Second, pag may new revenue collection nga po. And lastly, approved loans for foreign assisted. Meaning po yung loan proceeds. Yun po, pag ni-request ng ahensya, hindi ko po kailangan hintayin yung certification ni Secretary. So to date po, naglabas na kami ng additional 99 billion for loan proceeds nang walang excess revenue. So tumama na po yun kaagad sa programa po ng DOF. So tumaas na ulit yung deficit mo ng 99 billion pesos.
Secretary, yung approved loans, project specific
Yes
yan
po.
eh.
Yes po.
Hindi pwedeng ibato mo yan sa ibang projects.
Hindi po. Hindi
Okay.
po pwede.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Senator Pangilinan.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Magandang tanghali. Just to raise some questions with the DOF. Do we have figures regarding the leakage of revenues because of smuggling?
With the permission of the chair, to respond to the query, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. Yes.
Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chairman. With the permission of
Yeah,
the chair.
go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. The last time we met with the new commissioner of the Bureau of Customs, in our conversation with him, they presented to us a catch-up plan, and we presented to them our own catch-up plan, which we think they should do. Our estimate of the leakage for the year will roughly be 150 billion.
150 billion
More or less, yes.
for customs.
Yes.
Does this include iba pa yung BIR, no?
Iba pa. Iba pa.
But do you also have figures as to
I don't have the figures for the BIR, but nevertheless, when we give them a target, let me give you an example. If the economy were to grow by, example, 6%, and you had inflation of, let's say, 8%, and we give them, so their minimum growth should be 8. So if
Yes.
we give them a target of 12, then there's an efficiency of 4%. So that's how we do it with both the BIR and the Customs Department.
Okay, thank you. I raised this question because we had a hearing yesterday on the smuggling,
Yes.
particularly agriculture products. And the anti-agriculture economic sabotage law mandates the full operation of the national single window within 90 days. The law says within 90 days from the effectivity of this act. And then a failure to implement the NSWD shall subject the head of the concerned office of the BOC and trade regulatory agencies to admin and criminal prosecution. May we know what the status is now of the
National single window.
yes. And moving forward, is there, kasi 20 years na tong batas na ito.
No,
It
I
was,
think bagong batas yan. Yung,
well,
yeah.
yes, the council, the creation of the Anti-Agriculture Sabotage Act was 2024.
Yeah.
But the Executive Order 482 which was where the single window, originated or emanated from, was 2005.
Yes.
So we have been talking
Maraming-
about the national single window since
Correct.
2005. We will celebrate the 20th anniversary this year. When will we finally put this together and
Yeah.
make it functional?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's go backward muna from 2005 to before I came into the DOF. Maraming kaso-kasuhan dyan. Okay, so there are TROs in court, so on and so forth. But to answer your question directly today, it is no longer the BOC implementing that. The proponent now of the project is the DICT. And we expect to get the national single window approved within the next 2 months. Within the next 2 months, not to be implemented by the DICT. That is also to skirt around the TRO issued by the court. So
Yes.
hindi na siya BOC, DICT ang gagawa. Okay? And maybe another year for it to be operationalized.
So, in other words, by 2026,
Mm.
second or third quarter,
Third
quarter.
Hopefully by then it will be fully operationalized. And then next to that will be the improvement of their E2M.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank
So
you.
with the national single window and that, hopefully within our administration, mariresolve natin yung mga maraming problema sa Bureau of Customs.
Although, as it was earlier, during the hearing yesterday, nabanggit ni Senator Amy Marcos nung initially na-implement yung ilang mga online, how do you call it, transparent collection, bumaba ang collection. I don't recall right now which particular agency, pero nung naging digital, bumaba yung collection. Diba? So maybe we will have to baka sadyang sinasabotahe, no? But anyway, you'll have to look out for that.
Yeah, I think our revenue generating agencies, generally, the revenue effort has been growing by about 14% on the average in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Almost 12% for the BIR in the last 3 years as well.
Thank you. These are some items that I raised last hearing yesterday, but I'd like, because Secretary Recto and Secretary Balisacan were not here, I'd just like to reiterate this. And I've shared it earlier with Secretary